So at the top, you've shown that if you have a percentage, you want to turn into a decimal, you simply divide by 100. And you have previously covered the rules on division by 100 and so on. So to change a percentage into a decimal, divide by 100. And we'll take up a few examples here. And the first example is that we have 36% and we want to turn it into a decimal. So that's your 36% here, and we divide by 100. And remember, the 36 has a decimal point at the end, just after 6. So what we're doing here is one place and two places. The point goes and sits there in the middle between 0 and 3. So that's 0. So 36% is 0.36. And on the left, we've shown here, move 2 digits to the left from the decimal point. So similarly here, 28%, decimal point is here, by the way. So we move 2 digits to the left and is 0.28. So recap, percentage to decimal, simply divide by 100. To divide by 100, you move 2 digits to the left from the decimal point. Two examples. First example, 36%. So you divide 36 by 100 and you get 0.36. Second example you have here is 28%. So it's 28%. Decimal point is here. And as you can see, 1 and 2 placed to the left. Move 2 digits to the left. And so the point sits there between 0 and 2. So 36% as a decimal is 0.36 and 28% as a decimal is 0.28. So now we'll try to do the opposite of these. And so this is now change a decimal into a percentage. So this is the decimal and follow the arrow. So now we're changing, going this way. That's the reverse of what we did before, is changing a decimal to percentage. Now we're multiplying instead of dividing. We're multiplying by 100. All right. So to change a decimal into percentage, you multiply by 100. So examples again here is you have decimal 0.78. You want to turn it to a percentage and follow the rules. Move 2 digits, divide by, multiply by 100. So move 2 digits to the right from the decimal point. And there you are. So the answer is from that point. You're moving 1, 2 places. So your answer is 78%. And now you've got here a decimal which has got 3 digits after the point. And so what we have to do is move from there 1 and 2 places, and so is 1.5%. So 78% and 1.5%. And that again is simple. And let's look at the next part here, which is a fraction now. And it's a fraction that we are turning into a decimal. And in this case, we say simply multiply by 100 over 1. So to change a fraction to a decimal, simply multiply by 100 over 1 and do some cancellation. And you've got a couple of examples given here. So 3/4, and you want to turn that 3/4 fraction into a percentage. So what we do is just multiply by 101. In this case, we are cancelling the 4 with 100 and using the 4 times table. So it goes 1 times and it goes 25 times, and 3 times 25 is 75. So your 3/4, as you really know, is 75%. But this is how it's done. If you have a fraction 2 over 5 now, so follow the rule, 2 over 5, multiply by 100 over 1. Now we've got 100 at the top and 5 to the bottom. You can simply cancel it or divide both the top and bottom by 5, 1 times and 20 times. And 2 times 20 is 40%. So 3/4 is 75% and 2/5 is 40%. The rule, fraction to decimal, multiply by 101 and simply cancel. And so that was the rule for changing your fraction to decimal. And you must write these rules down neatly in some way in your book so that you know what they are. And let's look at now, it says decimal to fraction. So to change a decimal into a fraction, check the number of places after a decimal point. And so if you have your denominator, like if you have 1 digit, like for example here, that's a case where you have 1 digit after a point. So what this rule says that if you have 1 digit after a decimal point, the denominator will be 10. And there you can clearly see 1 digit after the point. So your denominator is 10 and simply put the 3 at the top. So 0.3 is 3 over 10. In the next case, look at that. After a point, you got 2 digits. So the rules at the top say 2 digits after a decimal point. The denominator will be 100. So in this case, 2 digits, denominator is 100. And the top number is 25, which you can just write there at the top. So 0.25 is 25 over 100. And by all means, you can cancel this further, whatever you want to do, but as long as you know the basic rules. And if you look at this one, 1, 2, 3. Can you see that 3 places or digits after the point? And the last rule tells you that if you have 3 digits after a decimal point, the denominator will be 1,000. So in this case, we put your 3, 23, 25 at the top and 1,000 at the bottom.